afternoon all and welcome. I'm Rachel Kelly. I'm the Industrials and Services Marketing Lead at PwC UK, and I'm also the Northwest PM Forum Chair. And I'm delighted to be hosting today's PM Forum National Webinar on Gen AI and thought leadership. As we all know, Gen AI continues to dominate our newsfeed and no doubt the conversations that we're having with our teams and our stakeholders, with many of us adopting AI across our roles on a regular and some even daily basis. While for others, we recognise this is still very much a work in progress whilst you work through the best tools and applications and practices to adopt within your role and firms. So today's webinar promises to be an impactful and practical session where we're going to delve into how Gen AI can be utilised to support your thought leadership, from the research phase right through to messaging and content development. And we'll also touch on strategies that will allow you to differentiate and how you can ensure your messaging stands out and isn't just echoing what your competitors are saying. So with the aim of this session really helping to deepen your knowledge through case studies and actionable insights. I'm delighted to be joined by Gay Flashman, our speaker today, former television and news journalist, and also founder and CEO of Formative, which is a global digital marketing agency which brings B2B and corporate brand stories to life. And Gay and her team have worked with clients from the World Economic Forum, McKinsey and Microsoft through to professional and other firms within the B2B space. Welcome, Gay. Delighted to have you here.
Thanks ever so much, Rachel, for that introduction. So thought leadership for me, and I think is really important just to define this before we start, is not a kind of churn and burn, churn out a blog based on a search, that you're going to put into chat GPT, write me a piece of thought leadership, 1,000 words. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about something that is based on authority and credibility. It potentially integrates the thinking of your people. You might have interviewed subject matter experts within your organization for it, or it might be based on a deep dive report that you've done. But ultimately what we're talking about here is something that is original and authoritative in terms of where does the magic happen. So I think it's really important looking at this Venn diagram. It's in the middle section. You're going to have maximum value where you apply your own insight, your thinking and your expertise, and you're all experts in your own particular area. So you have an understanding of your arena, your sector, but you also can use tools to speed up everything that you do and hopefully shift your thinking at the next level up and generally speed up the time it's going to take you to do things. So in terms of what we are going to cover today in thought leadership terms, we know already, and you've already just reinforced that to me, that we're using GPTs, and I'm going to use chat almost as a proxy for all of the main GPTs that are kind of out there and being used. I'll run through some others for you to give you a sense of the nuance and the difference between some of the main ones, which might give you a little bit more of a wider tool set to work with. But if I'm using chat GPT quite often, I'm just going to mean that as a GPT. It's the most popular one. It's growing at an exponential rate. But we already know it can summarize, it can tutor, it can be your thinking partner, it can give you therapy. As we know, a lot of the Gen Zs are using it for therapy. It's a really good thinker when you start. It's quite compassionate. And it can also role play for you. So let's have a quick look at some tools. I mentioned chat there before. This is the most popular GPT. You'll see there, it's gone to 200 million paid users in just over 2 years compared to 400 million users that Microsoft have got in 35. If you extrapolate that out, you can see growth is going up massively. Next up is Perplexity, which I didn't notice a lot of you using, but I think is really worth throwing in at this early stage, because Chat GPT will only give you real-time search within the paid service. You have to enable that in your search. Perplexity has that as a basic function. So it is really good for you if you are researching or fact-checking your thought leadership.
Which Gen AI would be best to integrate into a law firm? I don't know if you've got, I know you gave a range of examples, but anything specific? Brilliant. That's amazing, Gay. Thank you.